songs, I don't think it even occurred to me, but I did write a few love songs in high school, which I have not hung on to because I think they weren't very good, or I don't like them from my perspective now.
So did Bad Company ever play one of your songs?
No.
Okay, all right. Just checking.
No, I mean, they were with feeling and, you know, and all that, but I don't even really remember them because I'm old now and I don't remember those things.
So tell us what happened. What turned you into a songwriter?
Yeah, we were thinking about this, and I think one of the things is that Andy and Charlie and I were playing in a band with a guy named David Jones, and we were kind of his backup band for a while. And during that time, I was reading a book called The Women Who Run with Wolves, and those stories were so rich with imagery and deep language and all that. And it occurred to me to write a song about that. And then also when I was in the car driving down to a job that I was glad I gave up because it was really far and really a terrible job. But I started writing a song on the way and writing the words down as I was driving and things like that. So something started coming out of me, and don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anybody, she says in a microphone. Yeah.
Well, it was 1995, I think. So I think I'm off the
Statute
hook
of limitations.
now.
Yeah.
But so something started coming out during that time, and then David Jones moved to California, and then Charlie and Andy and I had to figure out, well, what are we now and what are we doing? And so I started writing songs, and it brought us something to do. The guys liked it, so that's nice when you have somewhere to take your songs. That's really good.
So you talked about reading Women Who Run with the Wolves.
Right.
And I remember that time. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
And you wrote several songs from stories in that book.
Right. I don't know how many of you know much about that book, but she interprets the stories. She chooses a version of the story, and usually it's a fairly short one, so that she can include it there in the chapter. And then she gives a Jungian psychology analysis to the story. And often in these ancient tales, they have different characters, and the characters are all part of yourself. So each character could be a part of yourself. So I thought, well, that's fascinating. And so I also liked to bring in things that were not just about that time and that language and that idea and that story, but also bring it to what are we experiencing here in this day and age and this world, which of course, as I mentioned earlier, I like to comment on. So we're going to play one of those, right?
Well, yeah, tell us about Vasilisa.
Well, so I had La Llorona. So I don't know if y'all are familiar with the La Llorona story. Vasilisa, which is a Russian tale. And also Old Red Shoes. You might be familiar with that song. That's not my song, but the story.
Skeleton Bones.
Skeleton Bones was
the seal woman.
Yeah, that came later.
Okay.
But during that time, I think that was the ones that I wrote.
So Vasilisa,
So
tell us about
Vasilisa is a story where there's an old woman, the mother, who's dying on her deathbed, and her daughter comes, and the mother hands her a doll that's dressed just like her. And the doll represents the mother passing down what the daughter needs, so that if she has the doll with her in her pocket, she can always know which way to go. And there's a witch in the story, and she goes to the witch's house, and she gets lost, and then she remembers that she has this doll in her pocket, and she remembers that she knows where to go because of the wisdom passed down from her mother. So pretty cool stuff, deep, right? So this one is called Vasilisa.
Check your mic real fast.
Check.
Okay.
It's better.
All right.
I'm gonna guess it was the chord. On the forest path, it's dark and lonely when I don't know which road to take. I've got your wisdom, I'll make my own way. As the sun descends, I slowly awake.
a tiny doll dressed in white and blue, and when I'm lost she tells me what I can do.
Mother ever watchful, you protected me. You have hovered as I've readied for the world. You're growing ever smaller, and you're leaving me. I see you dwindle as your last breath's unfurled. Vaseline, you lay beside me on my pillow. I'll never let us part. And when I leave, I tie you to my breast, so you can feel the beat of my heart. The rain comes in the night, and it's hard to sleep. The night suspends the time, and the fears run deep. I stay quiet and let myself hear. She shows me the way, and the sky grows clear. You revealed a tiny doll dressed in white and blue, and when I'm lost, she tells me what I can do. You revealed a tiny doll dressed in white and blue, and when I'm lost, she tells me what I can do. Thank you.
So that was Vasilisa, and I think that song I'm not sure it could vote, but it's getting up in years. It's
2004.
It's a teenager song. It's probably sulky now.
One phenomenon I've noticed is that her voice was higher when she was writing these songs, and now it's more of a strain.
Don't worry, I'm gonna be taking voice lessons from Jolie, and so it's gonna get better, y'all. Also, I was here with the youth overnight, so I'm.
I was thinking about.
Carol has a full weekend this week.
I was thinking about the background harmonies. That,
Yours. Okay, yeah. Yes, good question.
Segue by Kim Waller, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, that is a very good question, because I know on that last song you said you were inspired first by the story, and then the music came afterwards.
Yeah.
So there's another song that you wrote a little bit after that called "Journey Is Hard." Tell us about how that song came to be.
Well, so first of all, the general answer is that I can be inspired by, because writing a song you kind of get obsessed about for a while, and so you kind of have to something has to matter enough for you to kind of go there. Something has to inspire you. So sometimes it can be like a chord change or a melody line that I'm like, ooh, that's nice. I want to just take that little snippet and do something with it. But I can never really start writing a song until I have some lyric line to start with. So I have to have an idea for what the song's going to be about before I can really begin creating one. So sometimes I've used both an inspiration from a poem or something, it could be a podcast, some kind of story, and music, and that's what Journey is Hard is an example of. So the Buena Vista Social Club was something that I listened to obsessively for a while, and there was one song on there that had a very certain bass line that went like this. Yeah, so that was like cool, and I loved the whole kind of jauntiness of the way it was. That song was about a donkey going up a mountain, and so also during that time, the Reverend Bruce Bodie was here, and he was bringing a lot of poetry. And besides Mary Oliver, his other favorite poet was Robinson Jeffers, who is a dark poet. You go there and he talks mostly about how wonderful and beautiful nature is and how terrible people are. But this poem is called, that this song is based on, is called The Young Artist. And The Young Artist is a poem that is about kind of the fragileness of certain people who are artistic, and how even the slightest bit of thing will sort of get them off. They're very sensitive. So it's a poem about sensitive young artists. And so I call this song The Journey is Hard. There's the bass line. There's a place for tender mercy, there's a place for the weak. When the cup runneth over from the top of the peak, somehow in nature's unfolding, she turns some of us loud. At the height of great voices, feels like a raging shout. Oh, your journey is hard, and your heart is bare. Oh, your journey is hard, and your heart is bare. And the tears come so easily in the midst of the fire. When the sky turns to darkness, let your senses retire. You weep for a flower scent, tears rip open your soul. Life on earth with its torments will surely take its toll. Oh, your journey is hard, and your heart is bare. Oh, your journey is hard, and your heart is bare. There's a place for tender mercy, there's a place for the weak. When the cup runneth over from the top of the peak, somehow in nature's unfolding, she turns some of us loud. At the height of great voices, feels like a raging shout. Oh, your journey is hard, and your heart is bare. Oh, your journey is hard, and your heart is bare. Turn back to the ocean, float out to the sea. Your but a drop of all that would be. Well, he said he's not going to ask me about arranging, but I want to talk about it just for a second.
Oh, yeah, we have 7 minutes left.
Okay. So just real quick, when I write a song, I bring it to the band, and then we arrange it, right? So when those harmonies come in, or when we stop, or something like that, those things evolve over time, but that's one of the funnest parts.
Collaboration.
Yeah, yeah. And arranging, because you can sing a song. It's like if I'm just standing here singing a song, but you add all this to it. It's like,
Well, and she played the flute, she played the ukulele, she spends a lot of time on the piano, and no, she hasn't played the ukulele yet.
No, I'm going
okay,
to.
you're gonna now. Oh yeah, and there's the melodica. Chelsea, if you want some lessons, she can probably help you out on the melodica.
Yeah, that's gonna
if you
happen.
If you want to
Yeah.
expand your horizons a little bit, try to keep up.
Charlie, you said we were running out of time.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so got anything in the hopper?
Yeah, so I hadn't been writing a lot of songs lately, so I started going to some song circles to try to be inspired and just see if I could get like a little small group of people who would like give feedback and stuff like that. And I think I found one. But anyway, I got a prompt in December for a song, and sometimes that's all it takes. It's just a prompt. So the prompt was New Year's resolutions. I'm like, okay. So I just dropped the resolutions. I just said New Year's, which to me is a time of transition, and that's much more interesting. And I kept my ears and eyes open, and sometimes it's a New York Times article. This time it was. Maureen Dowd in the opinion section wrote about A Christmas Carol and Dickens, and there was this quote in it, and this song got fixed around that quote. And I'm looking at Don. He'll tell you later why. Okay. So this is that song. It's brand new, so the guys have only played it in one rehearsal, so.
We're still kind of working on the arrangement.
Change was in the wind the year that Maggie was born, and rest among the young. Kennedy and Vietnam, she inhaled some of that hippie cool, but she always made good grades in school, and of course she followed all the good girl rules. She married the kind of man who was stable. They got a big TV and got cable. They had their kids and never slept. Each and every day they crept as close to the top as they were able. But Maggie woke this year on New Year's Day. She found the veil had fallen away. She couldn't tell if she was dreaming, found her life had all new meaning. She had the feeling this had shattered everything she thought that mattered. These are the words that floated through her mind. Now all things common become uncommon, become uncommon and enchanted to me. All things common become uncommon, become uncommon and enchanted to me. these words had come through her, not from her. And she wondered, who has sent this phrase to me? So she looked it up and found a quote from Dickens in a story called A Christmas Tree, where he said, now things common become uncommon, become uncommon and enchanted to me. Sing if you want to. All things common become uncommon, become uncommon and enchanted to me.
Things common become uncommon, become uncommon and enchanted to me. Things common become uncommon, become uncommon and enchanted to me.
We haven't worked out an ending yet.
Thank you.
All right.
We have time for a few questions.
Yeah, we would love to have some question and answers, but we have no time.
Is it
So
completely out of time?
we
Well, I'll write
Jolie?
Rick, write a song about that.
So you have like 1 minute. However, what you can do is if you have questions or comments, you can leave them in the hall. Oh, there. Thank you so much. We have to stop because we have to get ready for our next service. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
Thank you for wanting to listen. Because I'll finish with this, that as somebody who has a compelling need to tell ideas and stories in song, that somebody comes and wants to hear about that means a lot to me. And also that if you come and just listen